Hi, my name is ColdBeer and let's start with Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo. Here the city is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after 99% of the population just vanished, so you will use a powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the paranormal threat and unravel the mystery behind the mass disappearance. It may sound and look a bit like a horror game, but the main emphasis is not on the horror, rather on the fast-paced gameplay where you use your powerful abilities and can fight various ghosts like a true Ghostbuster, or more like a Ghost Eliminator, because you kill them.
How can you kill somebody who's already dead?
Oh, shut up, it's not a science game. And seriously, the game has a rating that allows 12-year-olds to play, so grow your mental balls and dive in. Achilles, Legends Untold. Here you will take control of a man with a really weak heel but with very strong everything else. The journey will take you to many different corners of mythological lands, where you will obtain powerful artifacts that will aid you in your quest. The game has a cool AI system that introduces innovative enemy behavior. Opponents have unscripted interactions with each other and are capable of coordinated attacks. Developers are also saying that sometimes your enemies are even taking advantage of their surroundings. Well, honestly, that should be mandatory in every modern game. If your adversary is ignoring surroundings, that is so old school. I think even pigs in Duke Nukem 3D could hide behind the walls, and the game was released in the past millennium. So Achilles Legends Untold is Souls-like, but not as hard as actual Souls games. Various Diablo-like action RPG lovers could play it as well. But of course, don't expect Diablo-like battles, here every battle is important. Well, at least they are made this way. If you played, for example, Sands of Aura, you may realize what I have in mind. It is a mix of genres, but I think it's really worth your attention. Black Mesa. This is actually a Half-Life, just with better graphics and better, everything. Keep in mind that this is not just a simple remaster, this is a quality remake that expands the scope of the original and massively improves its final chapters. The game is made by fans and it is made so well that it is an owner of overwhelmingly positive reviews. And to be honest, today Black Mesa is the best way to experience Half-Life. No clunky old school graphics, no compatibility problems, great gameplay and a really interesting suspenseful story. To say short, Half-Life is awesome, and Black Mesa may be the greatest way for you to play it. People on Steam are saying that Black Mesa is one of the best remakes ever made, and the game doesn't give you any reason to disagree with these wise words. Wartales. It has been 100 years since the world saw the fall of the once great Edoran Empire at the hands of an unprecedented plague that swept the nation. So prepare to lead a group of characters in a huge open world where combat, death and thirst for riches will shape and define your day-to-day life. You are not a special chosen one ushering in a new era of peace. Nah, your goal is solely to survive, well, and thrive in this harsh and hostile land. From the most insignificant petty thieves to the land's most notorious figures, there is no such thing as a profit too small to take. You can recruit from the vast array of new companions with numerous unique skill sets and weapon preferences, resulting in a plethora of possible builds. You will accept contracts that will take you on a task to defend, liberate and save the many inhabitants of the land for money. You are not a hero, remember? Also here you will be able to collect bounties. From the most insignificant pathetic thieves to the land's most notorious figures. There is no such thing as a profit too small to take. Very wise words, probably many times spoken by Quark from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Injustice 2 Legendary Edition. So this is basically the same as Mortal Kombat, just with different characters and no gore. You can't pull out the backbone through the mouth of your adversary, and if you want to do that, you are looking at the wrong game. So you can actually play this one with your 5-year-old niece and be embarrassed when she tears another asshole in your body with her awesome fighting skills. Nah, I'm kidding, kids are not good at games, and because it's forbidden to beat them in real life, you can at least do that in this game. Don't hold back, show them who's the boss. So in this version you will get 10 additional characters, including Teenage Mutant Ninja Snakes, or lizards, can't remember. Anyway, here you can become Batman as well, and beat everyone on easy difficulty. You got this. Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year Edition. This is the first one of the Arkham games. You may think that it is quite an old game, and you are right, around 15 years is not a joke. But surprisingly, the graphics are still great. I can't even imagine how this game felt back then, because when I look at it, it's like it never aged at all. Some Elijah Wood of games. Anyway, it still has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam and is one of the best rated games on the store overall. Here you'll use the free flow combat system to chain together unlimited combos seamlessly, and battle with huge groups of the Jokers henchmen in brutal melee brawls. You will have to solve interesting puzzles with the help of a cutting-edge forensic tools, including X-ray scanning, fingerprint scan, spray and pheromone tracker, and sooner or later you will meet famous villains, such as the Joker, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy and Jada Pinkett Smith. Well, maybe not the latter, but anyway, this game is a masterpiece even if you don't like Batman. Resident Evil 2. This is a complete remake of a classic game. Overwhelmingly positive review score softly hints that it was a complete success as well. Resident Evil 2 offers a fresh take on a classic survival horror saga with realistic visuals, immersive audio and a new over-the-shoulder camera. You will also get modernized controls on top of gameplay modes from the original game. I can still remember when I played the original game when I was 14 years old, and somehow I had my mental balls big enough to play it every evening after school. Well, on those rare occasions when I actually went to school. I'm a YouTuber not because I was very good at studying, you know, but I was good at games. That's why you should avoid me if you need your appendix surgically removed, but if you want your boredom removed, I'm your guy, that's for sure. A story about my uncle. This is a first-person platforming adventure game about a boy who searches for his lost uncle and ends up in the world he couldn't imagine existed. So I guess your uncle is actually cool here, and not the type which sits you on his lap and touches your leg softly. He said to you that you should be happy because he works as a Santa in the mall, but your mother always said that he is a janitor in school. Wonder why? So you have your doubts about Uncle Steve. Fair doubts indeed. So nothing like that in this game. Here you'll use your uncle's mysterious inventions that let you jump incredibly high, uncover clues to your uncle's whereabouts and meet fantastical creatures that will help you on your journey. Also, you may get motion sick and vomit on your keyboard. Just look at this up and down movement. That is enough to sicken an astronaut. Well, probably not, but 10 minutes of playtime was enough for me to start feeling sick. Although I should say that I succumb to motion sickness quite easily. You may feel nothing. Anyway, if that is not a problem for you, keep in mind that above 90% of reviews on Steam are positive, so this is definitely a good game. A short hike. On Steam it has 99% of positive reviews. Yeah, this looks like some kind of a miracle. Games with such ratings do not exist. You know, just like elves or politicians who don't lie. Well, honestly, elves are more common than politicians who don't lie, and games with this rating are even rarer. So this is a gem without a doubt. Here you can hike and climb through the peaceful mountainside landscapes, follow the marked trails, or explore the backcountry as you make your way to the summit. Along the way, meet other hikers and discover hidden treasures. People who play the game are saying that a short hike is like Breath of the Wild crossbred with Animal Crossing, and the only bad thing about this game is that it ends. And it ends really quickly. About 1.5 hours of your life will be made better by this game. But judging by the playtime of casual gamers, I can see that 9 hours of gameplay is quite a casual time. That can only mean one thing: people are playing the game more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, more than... well, you get the point, I hope. A masterpiece, no doubt. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. This is a slightly better version of classic Age of Empires 2, but in general it's the same old game just in a slightly prettier package. If you played Age of Empires 2 a long time ago, you'll probably notice nothing new except the graphics. Well, who am I kidding, these are exactly the graphics you are falsely remembering. The game wasn't so pretty, believe you me. Visuals here are really nice. You can even zoom in a little. Actually, a lot of other stuff is updated as well, like farms receding automatically, more aggressive AI, slightly better pathfinding, and a bit of rebalanced technologies and units. Well, pathfinding is still terrible. I can promise you that you will be collecting lost units across the map all the time. Also, 4 new civilizations are included: Bulgarians, Cumans, Tatars, and finally Lithuanians, who were one of the most powerful nations in Europe in the Middle Ages. Also, keep in mind that if you make a game with 4 other AI opponents with a population of 200, you better borrow that supercomputer from NASA, because otherwise you will learn what astronomical lag means. Yeah, pun intended. System Shock. This is the full remake of the famous original System Shock from 1994, combining the old gameplay with all new HD visuals, updated controls, overhauled interface, and all new sounds and music. It even has the original voice actor of Shodan, the psychotic AI who has taken control of the Citadel station and turned the crew into an army of cyborgs and mutants. She now plans to do the same to Earth, so you must explore and battle your way through the depths of a space station gone to hell. battle, stop AI and avert humanity's destruction. The best thing for me, a man who never played the original System Shock of 1994, was a shocking experience, pun intended, when I realized that this is not a linear shooter. You can actually decide where to go first, what areas to explore, and you will also have to make a mental map of the space station in your head, because it is huge and it's easy to get lost. Card Shark. Something really refreshing this time. Card Shark is an adventure game full of cunning, intrigue, and delectable deceit. You will enter a world where you will need to play your opponents better than you play your cards. For example, when I play cards, I often cheat. For me, not winning is not an option, that's why I never play cards with strangers. You know, I avoid getting shot. But in this game, everything is way more serious. You will have to cheat your way to the top of 18th century French society, master deceptions using card marking, false shuffles, deck switching, false deals, and more. Use your ill-gotten gains to buy your way into the closed world of high stakes, or even to a table of a king himself. And yeah, please don't get caught while cheating a king. 8-bit Hordes. Basically, this is a Warcraft if it would be made using the Minecraft engine. Here you'll find two factions, the Dark Orcs and their undead friends versus those annoying humans, dwarves, elves, and all that puny stuff in general. You will collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of evil or, you know, pathetic good, and ultimately crush your opponents, or be crushed by them. Game offers 24 offline campaign missions, 12 co-op missions to play with your friends, and 10 multiplayer maps that support up to 8 roles online, literally and figuratively. Although honestly, you will never see 8 players online. I'm not even talking about this amount of players in multiplayer, so if you want some player versus player battles, you're gonna need a friend. But don't worry, AI is present as well. It has multiple difficulty options, also it can play in a team with you or destroy you. It is quite capable of doing that, believe you me. 8-bit Hordes is easy to understand and is user-friendly in general. If you like RTS games, there is no doubt that you may like this one as well. Aliens Dark Descent. In this tactical real-time strategy, you will command a squad of hardened colonial marines to stop a terrifying xenomorph outbreak on a distant, unwelcoming planet. You will lead your soldiers in real-time combat against iconic xenomorphs, rogue operatives from devious Weyland-Yutani Corporation, and a host of horrifying creatures new to the Alien franchise. So here you are, the commander, and soldiers are your weapon. With their help, you will infiltrate large open levels and annihilate enemies with your squad. Tread carefully, as your foes will adapt their tactics to your actions. Monsters will be hunting you down, and the death here is permanent. You know, like the hunger of your cat, or the noises your neighbors make. So if you have a handsome soldier you don't want to lose, you might want to put it behind the others. Although be warned that the aliens can ambush you from behind as well.
Did you say something about behind?
Yeah, he definitely said something about it behind. I heard him.
Oh, shut up. Dark Descent is an original story filled with iconic xenomorph creatures, ranging from facehuggers to Praetorians, alien queens, and many more. Dark Descent has around 90% of positive reviews, and people on Steam are saying that this is the perfect game for Alien Universe fans, and after the isolation, it's probably the best game about xenomorphs. Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express. Here you will discover a modernized and revisited version of Agatha Christie's classic book. Set in 2023, Murder on the Orient Express brings the classic tale to life in a way that may surprise even the most dedicated fans. Game isn't blindly following the original story. Here you'll find brand new elements and experience the mystery and suspense of the most famous case of Hercule Poirot. So here a crime is committed on the train. During your trip you are surrounded by a group of singular characters, all suspects, each with their own secrets and motives. And your job is to single out the murderer amongst them. Solving the mystery won't be easy. Through numerous twists and turns you will have to use your enormous IQ to unravel the mystery and bring it to life. I wish games like that had an actual brain capability requirement, you know, so you won't lose the money if you are, you know, a bit dumber. So before you buy, you would have to solve a small puzzle, preferably from the game, to unlock the payment options. If you fail, the game is obviously not for you. Buy some other game, and if you solve it in a matter of seconds, that may tell you something as well. Just an idea, but kinda nice one, huh? Age of Darkness, Final Stand. Since that StarCraft mission I played 20 years ago where I had to hold my base intact against a never-ending Zerg attack, this concept landed in a warm place in my ColdBeer heart. Later I have played countless maps like that on StarCraft 2, and then There Are Billions was released. I enjoyed the game, it was so fun to play, but I was slightly disappointed as well, because it lacked unit types and was kinda repetitive. Age of Darkness is a bit different. It has a technology allowing over 70,000 swarming AI units on screen at the same time. Also day and night transitions and more defensive unit types than There Are Billions had. The downside is that some people are complaining that campaign missions are bugged and sometimes the game just crashes. In survival mode it is a way better experience. Although the game is in early access, don't expect miracles. Anyway, defending from hordes of nightmares is a very satisfying experience. And yeah, that sounds nice, but we all know how this gameplay will go for you. You'll see some zombies breaching your walls and then you'll be like,
This is fine.
and after a moment you'll just rage quit. Vanishing of Ethan Carter. The game surprised me by not having any UI, no information bar or anything like that. And that's a good thing because it doesn't need one anyway. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is very detailed and the praise this game received for its graphics is very much deserved. You may call the game a walking simulator, but it's more like a detective story that you have to unfold by, walking around. Here you'll slowly reveal clues that allow you to piece the events of this Lovecraftian mystery together. Yeah, the game may sometimes be really creepy, but that adds to the immersion. Main story is constructed from several smaller stories, and once you collect all the clues, the game rewards you with an interesting and unexpected conclusion. Like really, if you are expecting some simple murder mystery here, it's nothing like that. So basically, if you like slow-paced, beautiful games with the ability to surprise you, this is one of the best choices you can make. Observation. This is a sci-fi thriller where you will have to uncover what happened to the crew of the space station through the lens of artificial intelligence. You will assume the role of AI by operating the station's control systems, cameras, and tools. The game is blending narrative adventure, puzzles, exploration, and cosmic existential horror. You will uncover the true nature of yourself, your crew, and the mysterious, always present hexagon on Saturn. The story, horror atmosphere, and music is great, but the game can be a buggy mess if your gaming setup is slightly out of the ordinary. Also, people on Steam are recommending playing it with a gamepad. But in general, it seems that Observation is a great deal for the fans of 2001: A Space Odyssey and Solaris movies. I will say probably blasphemy that I liked Solaris with George Clooney way more than that Soviet film with Donatas Banionis as the main protagonist. Way more. Heavy Rain. Here you'll experience a psychological thriller filled with innumerable twists and turns. Here every choice matters and the endings are many. Here you'll try to solve the mystery and hunt a murderer known as the Origami Killer, named after his personal style of leaving behind folded paper shapes at crime scenes. So here 4 characters, each following their own leads and with their own motives, must take part in a desperate attempt to prevent the killer from claiming his next victim. You need to think fast and act even faster, as every choice and move you make can result in a dramatic, game-changing consequences, and even determine who lives and who dies. Or maybe you are the killer the whole time. It's not a spoiler or something, I haven't played this game so far, but I am really tempted now. I like games like Detroit Become Human, Wolf Among Us, and similar story-rich tales, so how this story ends is entirely up to you. Into the Breach. This simple-looking game is actually an officially recognized masterpiece. It has won Best Strategy Game title at the Game Awards. It was announced as a Game of the Year by PC Gamer, and on Steam it has above 90% of positive reviews left by thousands of people. So here the remnants of human civilization are threatened by enormous creatures breeding beneath the earth, and all hope is in your hands. You must control powerful mechs from the future to hold off this alien threat, and each attempt to save the world presents a new randomly generated challenge. Basically, the game throws a different strategic puzzle at you every time and you have to solve it, and that is somehow really fun to do. Just make sure you like both puzzles and strategy games, because it is quite challenging, and if your brain is smooth, you may want to play some other game instead. Don't ask why I know this. Inscryption. This is a card-based odyssey that blends the deck-building roguelike, escape room-style puzzles, and psychological horror into a well-mixed Bloody Mary. You'll acquire a deck of woodland creature cards by draft, surgery, and self-mutilation, unlock the secrets lurking behind the walls of a mysterious cabin, and embark on an unexpected and deeply disturbing adventure. So don't play this game with your little kids or something. Anyway, overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam are well-deserved. This game is a real gem. Also, if you are in doubt, you can play the free demo version. Watch Dogs 2. You will play as a brilliant young hacker living in the San Francisco Bay Area. You will team up with a notorious group of hackers to execute the biggest hack in history. Take down an invasive operating system being used by criminal masterminds to monitor and manipulate citizens on a massive scale. So you are a good guy after all, not like baddies who hack potato salad recipes and add pineapple to them. Anyway, you can explore the dynamic open world full of possibilities. Hack into every connected device and take control of the city infrastructure. You will develop different skills to suit your playstyle and also upgrade your hacker tools, RC cars, quadcopter drone, 3D printed weapons, and much more. People on Steam are saying that you can actually watch dogs. Also, people are recommending to buy a bit more expensive gold edition instead of a base game to get all the goodies and DLCs. Braid. I always say that this is a game perfectly suitable for beer-loving people. You know, when you are drunk, you make a lot of mistakes. For example, you want to send your ding-dong pic to your ex-girlfriend, but accidentally send it to your aunt. And that's not the worst that could happen while you're drunk. Worst thing is when your aunt sends you something similar back. So this game is perfect for those who make a lot of drunken mistakes. You can turn back time and start your moves over and over again. Undo all the bad things you have done. Although you cannot ever unsee that picture your aunt Olga sent you, this game will teach you the wrong concept of life, that everything you do is easily undoable. Call of the Sea. A wonderful game for puzzle lovers when you unlock the secrets in the Hunt of Missing expedition. It is the year 1934. In the far reaches of South Pacific, you play as Nora, who has crossed the ocean following the trail of her missing husband's expedition and finds herself in a lush island paradise, a nameless forgotten place dotted with the remnants of lost civilization. What strange mysteries does it hold? And what might Nora dig up in her quest for the truth? Maybe a better recipe for potato salad? Nah, I doubt it. People are talking that Call of the Sea has very interesting story and the visuals are stunning. On Steam it has about 90% of positive reviews, and that is definitely enough for you to dive in this first-person story-rich adventure. Find your husband, my hero, find him alive. Age of Mythology Retold. So this is a spin-off from the Age of Empires franchise that was revived as a remastered version in 2024. The release was very successful because they stayed faithful to the principles and listened to the fans. You know, nothing like Warcraft Reforged. So the game has around 90% review score on Steam, and that is a huge success. Not as huge as your mama, but really impressive. Here you'll embark on a multiple campaign spanning 50 missions that will take you across a vast mythical world. You will besiege the mighty walls of Troy, battle giants in the frozen wastes of Midgard, and discover the mysteries of the best potato salad recipe. Well, at least some of these are true. The game has really beautiful graphics with a not bad physics engine, and it also supports controller. You know, probably not for intense PvP battles, but for casual campaign after a hard day at work. People on Steam are praising the game in unison. The only thing that triggers players is the remade voice acting. If you never played the game, you probably won't even care, but if you did try the original version, you will feel that uncanny valley right away. Nevertheless, this is a minor thing, the game is great. Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition. You can't find this one in the search bar. You have to click on a simple Pillars of Eternity release and then you will find a bundle here. This is a great deal. For this price you will get the main game and all the DLC, so you'll have a complete game in one package. Pillars of Eternity is a great title, and if you like classic Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale games, you probably have heard about the game already. Pillars came to life after an unbelievably successful Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign, which raised more than $4 million. That is 4 times times more than you have face mites now crawling on your face. Yes, this is a wisdom you never wanted to possess. Now go and share it with your family members, don't be alone in this. So in Pillars of Eternity you become a hero and save people from a scary phenomenon known as Hollowborn. People are being born without a soul. Well, I guess that everyone is affected except people with specific hair color. You know, you can't lose what you don't have. Second part of the game is also discounted, but they are kinda similar in graphics and story quality, so if you never played the first part, don't skip it. Lamentum. You will find an intriguing story with the best tropes of Bram Stoker and H.P. Lovecraft implemented. I won't spoil you the plot though, all I can say that this is an example of a game that doesn't hold your hand or penis. You can combine things to make new things. Sadly, only those things that are meant to be combined can be conjoined together. For example, you can't combine a tooth with a coin or a pineapple with potato salad because that is a blasphemy! The surroundings of the game are made very well and they are kinda creepy. Weird paintings on the walls, blood on the ground and intestines in the bathroom makes your imagination go wild. It is very easy to immerse yourself in this game and take it as a story from a book. But Lamentum is not only a story, here are plenty of dangerous places that are ready to kill you without any hesitation. Monsters are creepy, but if you have a sword or other weapon you can easily chop them to pieces. Although at the beginning you are unarmed and your only weapon is your running capability. Sadly enough, I discovered that I can run only after several deaths.
What a shame.
Yeah. Hand of Fate 2. This is a dungeon crawler set in a dark fantasy world. You will try to master a living board game, where every stage of the adventure is drawn from a deck of legendary encounters chosen by you. So choose wisely your opponent. The enigmatic dealer will try to make you feel helpless and pathetic. People on Steam are saying that the combat is a bit clunky, but the atmosphere, art style and the narration of the game makes Hand of Fate really enjoyable and fun. Although keep in mind that the game is kinda difficult, also heavily based on luck. You know, it's a card game after all. And that may be frustrating if you have an unlucky day when everything falls apart. So before playing, throw a coin into the air 3 times and try to guess heads or tails. If you'll be correct at least 2 times, play the game. Luck is with you today.
And what if this was the last drop of luck? What if guessing heads or tails right was the luckiest thing that happened today?
Well, in this instance, I'll think you'll know that you are screwed right away. Game is not forgiving. Assassin's Creed Origins. Ancient Egypt, a land of majesty and intrigue, is disappearing in a ruthless fight for power. Ye will unveil dark secrets and forgotten myths as you go back to one founding moment, the origins of Assassin's Brotherhood. People are talking that this is one of the best Assassin's Creed games they have ever played. It has a great combat system, almost no bugs, and only bad comments are from grumpy old dudes who can't cope with the fact that this is now a role-playing game. Although I must admit that if you are not a fan of an Ancient Egypt, this setting can seem a bit boring. Some settings are really overused and not interesting anymore. You know, like Egyptian, Ancient Greek, Viking or Latvian mythology. You know, especially the Latvian one with all that Lačplėsis and Zirga Galva everywhere you go. Far Cry Primal. Welcome to the Stone Age, a time for extreme danger and limitless adventure, when giant mammoths and saber-toothed tigers ruled the earth and humanity was at the bottom of the food chain. Well, not the very bottom, raccoons were still below us, but a fat, juicy human would also be more preferred meal for a saber-toothed tiger, so I don't know if this lower position of raccoons really help us here. As the last survivor of your hunting group, you will learn to craft a deadly arsenal of, you know, sticks and stones to fend off fierce beasts and outsmart enemy tribes to conquer the land and become the apex predator. That won't be easy, except if you play on easy, then it will be easy. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Subscribe.